go.
Oh, it's good to be back. The greater Phoenix metaphor being personified in human history. Therefore, if I'm saying anything, it's going back to the Stark Expo. Oh, it's good to be back.
We already are. Yeah, no. Let's get to the moon god, bro.
Let's talk about the moon god.
Yeah,
episode 5 was called Assylum.
Yeah, you running point on this one.
Yeah, it's Assylum.
Assylum.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was called Assylum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm already gonna just we left off at episode 4 where he was in a institution, call it a mental institution or whatever, hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously he's going through the hallways trying to figure out what's going on, and he finds Mark. They had a great brotherly. They find Steven have this great brotherly moment. Did they? It was like brotherly each other, man. It was brotherly moment, right? Brotherly moment. Yeah, like
Steven,
they was beyond like personality. They was like, that's my brother.
We went through this together. I mean,
they got
except Mark. Mark. Like, I mean, I went through this, but
that was me. But okay, we get to the end. They run through, get to the end, and then obviously we see they get to that final door, but the door open and it's hippopotamus. Top of it, right? So that's what we leave off. Yeah, now, we start with the next. So I'm we can recap, but ultimately I'm gonna go into what I liked about it, and then ultimately go into what I did like.
Yeah,
right. Give your thoughts, and then we can get into some
I'm gonna do the same,
theories about
right where we going next.
Yeah. So and I already kind of teased one of the things I like because I said it. I actually do at this point in time I like their relationship.
Yeah, I like
because it felt like a brotherly relationship now.
Yeah,
and it almost like has an older brother, younger brother kind of look to it. And maybe that's just me being an older brother, but if it had a Mark being there, because we got way more Mark. That was the first one to me that was like, this is a Mark episode, right?
Yeah.
Like we got a lot. Obviously, we got a lot, everything from Mark, and what obviously went down to where he became the condition that he's in now. But I did like that relationship that they were having, how they were interacting with each other. Because it credit to what's his name, Oscar, because it really felt like two different people.
Oh, facts,
saw
bro.
both of them at the same time.
Oh man, this nigga acting, bro.
It was two different people, even though it was both. They said he was working with his brother. So his brother's playing the other roles. Yeah, his brother. So the person he's talking to is his actual brother.
Wow, bro.
Yeah. So that maybe that brotherly thing that's kind of like is genuine, right? He's actually working with his brother because they doing it. Another thing I like in this episode, I like him all the way through, but I heal my like and dislike. I actually like the dynamic that Harold how he can move to this. I have a theory about that though.
Right? You mean like, what do you mean? Like he can move to this as in
the way he's almost to me even like a manipulation, but ultimately how he's going from, like I said, he's going from the seance guy to the cult leader.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is really Harold, he convincing as hell that he's trying to help this guy out. But I got a theory, right? Okay. Another one I got probably the best thing is how they showed how he got to the point of code. And you nailed this in the beginning, the first episode we did, how we got to his DID, right? I felt like I didn't see that, and I didn't see that coming, that was going to be the reason, right? Mm-hmm. That how his DID was on set.
Yeah, the trauma,
yeah. But how that trauma of going from you would have thought it would have been when his brother had passed, right? Now it's going to be what did it, But it was trauma after that, right?
Yeah, it was
right.
Yeah.
Even to the point where Steven was standing there, and that's how he found out. Like, imagine that, man.
Yeah, I know.
You find out you fake.
Yeah.
How they got to that point? Yeah. How they got to that point where he went from his brother, and they couldn't save him, and he come back, and then instantly his mom's, obviously she can't stand him now. Now she gets to the part where she beating on him. That part is where, and then you see that's where the origin of his, and that's like I said, it's whether it's corny or whatever, but like to our point where we talked about, meaning like if it's, oh, that's not believable, but no, that actually is based on the science, how that shit kind of happened. Yeah. Some kind of traumatic event. And it's like he had back to back and went from, like I say, the brother dying to the way his mom's got on him.
Yeah, back to back, yeah.
Turned them into that. And again, I go like it's crazy too, because like you know, and if you ever in a situation where you don't have the best relationship with your parents, some of that you may not have had that exact thing happen,
right?
But you know, I even got experience like when you ain't the one that they really you catch some of them.
Yeah,
like
no facts.
You catch some of those strays.
Yeah,
right. I like that, and then I think the last thing I got. It's two things. I got one is silly. Last thing I got that I liked. I like even without it being like fighting in it and all that kind of shit. I like the pace of the show, right? Like this one felt like it went together.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like where some of the other ones
very
felt
well
like
put together. Yeah.
Like some of these other ones where shit was missing or you could see was patchy. Last thing I got is I liked that Hippo wasn't Mammy. Like I know they wanted to make her Mammy.
Ooh, boy. Like I know they got some delete, man. I know they had when they conceptualized the character, you know it was Mammy, bro. You know that shit was Mammy, bro.
I bet you there was another voice actor. Like, you know what, we gonna not do this. Some adult in the room came around and said, "Hey, yeah. Feige might have showed up." Like,
yeah, whoa,
hell no.
What is this? What's that, Kevin? Episode 5. What the hell?
Yeah,
like. She brings pancakes out. What is? Are you? No, yeah. Rewrite it. Yeah.
So from there, you know, I go some of my likes. So like I said, I really did. I'm starting this off saying that was my favorite episode in the thing. And you know what? And that's the episode that made me like episode number 1 more. Right? Like, okay, that feel like those went together. But now I'm gonna get into my dislikes. Right? And it's more of a critique of the overall series.
Yeah.
Back to Hero. I don't really know who the real villain is.
No, we don't.
Because it's really not a superhero show. Like superheroes got a villain.
Nah, B.
It's not a superhero show. So we have a lot of characters in the show. Right? I mean, I got a theory on who the villain is, but at the end of episode 5, like, if that is really Hero, is he really a villain?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you don't have an established.
Ask yourself, what has he done wrong?
What has he done wrong?
What has Harold done wrong?
The person we've seen.
What has he done wrong?
What has he done wrong?
Okay, people died, right? Was that Harold or was that Ahmed? What has Harold done wrong? I ain't seen Harold pull out a pistol.
But he shot
Steve. Oh, he did shoot Steven. Okay, but I mean, well, shit. I mean, a lot of people could have shot Mark.
A lot of people could have shot.
Mark is a mercenary murderer, bro. I probably would pull a pistol out on Mark. So, that's a good point, bro.
Yeah, it's probably like I say, we don't have a physical threat.
No,
there's not a physical threat of the show. So I actually don't. Like I say, theory-wise, I have a theory I can get to, but right now,
who's the villain?
Who's the villain? Who's the threat? Right, I don't know who the threat is. So this is a different kind of show. I didn't walk. We walked in on Moon Knight and it, but like, okay, there's no. Even with the other ones, we know who a threat is. Like we don't know. I don't know. So that's 1. 2, the CGI. Once they started getting to the Duat and even to the Reeds.
Yeah. They spent some money on that hippo.
Yeah,
I think they maxed the budget out on the hippo.
And I actually seen just on the ground, like I think that's a real costume.
Oh, it is?
I think that's a real costume, like the face and the
that's wild.
The body. Like I had to pull those up, see if I can. Maybe some of the stuff on probably the ear stuff, like the movement. But that's a real hippo face.
I
had to see the thing. Like she's putting it on. She was wearing it. Now maybe they just had like a costume made and like a prop.
Yeah.
But they were showing they was giving props to the voice actor.
Okay. She's like a British lady, right?
Yeah, she's kind of cute too.
I think she like Middle Eastern.
I think she like a Brit, but she might be like one of like the Middle Eastern Brit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what she looked like. Yeah.
Yeah. Another dislike. I'm not gonna go too much longer. This episode, the end of 4 in this episode made me realize 2, 3, and most of 4 could have been 1. And they probably could have snuck that into episode 1. We didn't need 2, 3, and 4 to get to where we are now. We always knew we was gonna get here. Just how much they sold the story on being DID, like they were gonna talk about that.
We knew he was gonna be here.
So it's not a critique. It's more of a, again, no, serious, but it made me think like, why did we wait so long to get to this point? Now, we've always talked about what episode 5 is, the penultimate episode is for these Disney Plus shows. But it made me just look back at like, what was the point? Like looking at this one, like I get why they had episode 1, right? Watching this episode, I don't get why we had 2, 3, and 4. And maybe even the end. Matter of fact, I actually don't even know why we got to the point other than just seeing Moon Knight. What was the point of that? The whole, what was the point of that whole, even the Jackal fight? What has been the point of Moon Knight?
That's a great point.
Like think about it. We've been going through a whole show where they have a whole series where they did 2, 3, and 4 was about chases.
Yeah.
What was the point of the Scarab? What was the point of needing a cigar? You get what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, because they have nothing to do with it right now.
No, they don't.
Like, so
because you spent the last 2 episodes you spent the last end of the last episode and this whole entire episode not needing a Scarab. Like, none of that really matters. Right. We was gonna get here no matter what.
Like you made an Indiana Jones type chase, but really like they had a better ticking clock in this show, in this episode, because they were trying to get to like the balance of scales and then understand that we were all sitting there like, okay, what's going to be the thing where they need to find out how Mark became who he became, right? That was a ticking clock, like from the beginning of the episode to the point, and then to the point where obviously he goes off with Steve sacrifice or call him sacrifice, but he fell off the boat and he was in the sands of the Duat or whatever it's called. But what was the point of the Scarab chase? What was the point of going to Egypt? What was the point of needing to go into the Alexander's tomb? Excuse me. What was the point of all that to be in this asylum? Right?
Yeah.
Him going with, like, even if he come out of it, still, what was the point of all that shit? Right? What was the point? Maybe I'm overthinking. I just didn't. So this episode made me son the other episodes.
Yeah.
At the end of the one and this one, talking about turning points, such a turning point that they're completely different than what they were doing that whole 2 through 4.5 or 2 and 4 3/4. You know, I don't know, man. Like I said, I just wanted to point that out. My last thing is silly, because I guess it's the same thing. I'm actually salty. Where the hell is my MCU connect?
Where is
now,
it, bro?
I went from not need one. I went from not need one.
I know it's crazy.
It's
crazy how that flip, right? Because we in the first 2 episodes, we like good, man.
Hell yeah,
no commercial. Yeah, no connection. Wider universe. Nothing. No mention. Now we again. I'm 5 episodes in, and I don't know if this really happened.
I don't know if this really happened
in the MCU universe. There's no. Now, we do have a mention of the astral plane.
Celestial plane.
The celestial plane, yeah. My bad.
No, you good. I wasn't trying to say because I was literally about
to
my tongue. My
bad. I was like, damn.
You know, people try to correct you and say be like celestial plane. Like I wasn't trying to correct you.
Get it right, nerd.
But I was aggressive with it. Like, celestial plane. I had it right there.
Nah, you good, bro.
That's all we done got. Like, celestial plane. Right.
Man, you're right, bro. What was the point? Yeah. Damn.
Overall, like I say, we go and get into what you got. Overall, it was excellent. This episode was to me was the best one. Excellent joyride. Even they snuck in some Jake on us, right? You know my line is this is the Jake is the new Mephisto. Like we know that was
literally
Jake when his nose was beat, but I even got theories about that. But
and I got to drop my
I really liked the episode. Right. It was the episode only made me not like the episodes before it.
Yeah, because your time feel like again, Marvel playing with our time feel like it's been wasted. What was the point? I'm with you, man, 100%. What was the point of the first 4 episodes? I asked the same question. Well, what was the point? And you're right. I'm my bad. You was done with it.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad. So I pretty much got all the same likes you got, right? So I really enjoyed the pacing of this show, of this episode. And you're right. This episode was very well written. And we do get that ticking time bomb where it's like, oh shit, all right, y'all got to figure this out. You know what I mean? You got to balance these scales. It's very well written television. It's a well written episode of television.
Facts.
Pacing was great. Direction was pretty good. We do have a satisfying, like we don't get too much of an exposition dump. They show us rather than just tell us, right?
Facts.
They do a combination of showing us and telling us. We get a clear distinction on what triggered his DID.
Yes.
We know. It's clear.
Yes.
His mom. You know, there's nothing left to be. There's no, you know, I mean, you don't have to theorize about this. No. His brother died and then compounded that with his mother abusing him, pretty much, you know, being abusive.
Both events with his mother. Both events with his mother, right? Abusive and then her dying. And
then she died.
Yeah.
So these are 3 consecutive things that triggered his DID and then re-triggers his DID once she passes away. These traumatic events. So we understand what's going on here, and it's well acted. Oscar Isaacs, man, like
he killing it.
He killed it, bro. Like I'm really sad if you walk away after this. Like seriously, I'm to the point where I'm like, man, I don't think you should walk away. I think you need to figure something out. Like maybe pay this guy. Which again goes to my overall theory about why they build up other characters. But anyway, so yeah, with that said, my favorite episode, I would say last episode is really my favorite episode. But
episode 4,
yeah, just because the way it ended, build up. But these episodes are very connected. The end of the episode and the beginning of that, or the end of that episode and the beginning of this full episode. But my dislikes is, I'm at the point where I'm like, what's the point of this entire show?
Yeah.
This isn't a Moon Knight show. Like, what are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to educate me? Did y'all just want to bring awareness to DID?
Yeah.
Because again, and this is what we mean by the reference to the wider MCU. You haven't given me that, and I'm about to go into the last episode. You have not presented a compelling mystery for me to look forward to being solved, right?
Yeah,
we're not waiting for something. Yeah, like there is no villain. Harold's not a villain. You had Harold come before the gods and be judged, or be basically it's like, you know, to be judged. He passed with flying colors. He hasn't. Okay, he just wants to free Ahmed. There's like 2 or 3 people that died along the way. He has armed guards. That's not really uncommon of just a cult leader or whatever, right? Like he's not.
Yeah.
He's not a villain, man. Like he's not a compelling villain in that way. He is very well acted. if you want to talk about who the second best actor is, it's Ethan Hawke, right? Like Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke killing it. Yeah. Like you said, the dynamic, him going back and forth between playing the doctor, this convincing doctor, to Harold, the Dr. Harold, that very well acted. But I don't. Why did you make this?
Yeah, what was the point?
Because if you're telling me this guy's gonna be in Midnight Suns, if that's what you're eventually gonna tell me, like, why? What is his purpose? What is his purpose? Like, you only could do that by comparing. You only can compare to other movies, right? Like Shang-Chi. What is his purpose? Like, we figure out he learns his purpose by taking over the rings from his dad eventually at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. But Moon Knight got 2 or 3 different suits, multiple personalities. Now we arrive in a mental institution, which seems to be the afterlife. It is it's like a representation of the afterlife. Mm-hmm. The Duat. It's like, man, you keep taking me down this path, but I have no idea why I've came this far. You know what I mean?
Why am I on this journey?
Why have I come this far into the journey? And if you telling me you about to just you're gonna do all this just so he can clash with Harold in some CGI fight in the last episode, you have failed. You will make the entire show a failure. Like, we only can go so far without falling off a cliff, right? If we fall off a cliff, then the whole journey wasn't worth it. If we fall off a cliff by you fighting Harold and Ahmed, you stuff Ahmed in the last episode, and it's like, why did you do? Why did you do that? Did you just want to show me DID? Like, did you want to bring awareness to DID? Did you?
Hey, you could have did a Disney documentary for that.
You could have did a Disney documentary. Like, hey, there's this character. Yeah, by the way, there's this character Moon Knight. He has DID, and this is why it's important. Yeah. Misconceptions. It's not actually called multiple personality. It's called DID now. You know. Yeah. That's fine. I'll probably watch that. You know, that's very interesting because you do have Moon Knight. He's a character, but to make such an unsatisfying superhero show, this is very unsatisfying.
On an interesting character, man.
On a very interesting character. You had a plethora of source material to pull from.
Yes.
And you give me
even where they pulled it from, like this, even the run that they basing this mostly on, right? They still could have rocked it.
Yeah, like, we know he was gonna get that episode. We knew he was gonna get the where, oh no, it's actually Dr. Ahmed, and the doctor is actually the god, and the orderlies are jackals, and we knew he was gonna get that. Yeah. Just give me that. But why we do 4 episodes before we get to that? Why couldn't we just this should have been in the 3rd episode? Easily. Then we talking. Then we like, easily. Shit, we got 2 more episodes, 4, 5, and 6 coming up after this. Where he breaks out of the afterlife and he comes back to life and he breaks Khonshu out. Now you got to do it in the 5th episode, and again, bro, a 6th episode. And we know, again, man, Marvel, they gonna do the simplest thing possible, bro. They don't. It's gonna be a CGI fight at the end, and probably with Ahmed, but it's like, well, then why'd y'all waste Moon Knight? Like, I feel like Moon Knight has been wasted, and this is why it was so important. This is why I griped about Layla, not because not to just shit on Layla. It was just, nah, man, y'all not, because y'all ain't giving me no Moon Knight in the show called Moon Knight. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I think he's been around less than 3 minutes.
Only the question now, if any of that shit happened. So it's like, now it's like, okay, so 5th episode. And like you said, we see Jake. Now, my theory about Jake, man, I got 2. All right, so I'm gonna just these quick theories. And then I'll let you get into your theories after this. I ain't saying like I'm gonna let you do it. I'm just saying like, yeah, I get you next. You know what I mean? But and why I say this? Okay, so see the two things about this dude, Jake. Either y'all goofy, like y'all did some goofy stuff, where maybe y'all went back and did reshoots, and y'all literally got to the point where it's like we can't really focus on Jake at all. Like we just gotta leave the scenes in there and hope for the best. Like we really don't have a Jake, like you said. He's Mephisto.
Yeah, Jake Mephisto.
It's like he's the new Mephisto. It's like we really don't have anything with Jake. We just we had an idea with Jake. Maybe that was tied into the actor who passed away. Rest in peace. Maybe we got into time constraints, and it just made more sense to do what we did instead of, it just didn't didn't mesh with what we did. So we cut Jake out, but we left the scenes in.
Yeah. It was only
fine.
We couldn't, yeah.
Yeah. Or my other theory, which I'm like, man, if this ain't it, then y'all really, if it's that first theory, then y'all this show is a failure. And I will fail this entire show based off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm holding every episode. Like you said, you already done sunned the first 4 episodes. For me, I'm in agreement. Like I said, I'm thinking the same thing. You made the first 4 episodes useless. I'm not gonna go back and watch them.
No.
I'm good here. This is the most compelling, interesting episode. They trying to balance scales. He trying to get out of afterlife. We lose Steven. We find out why Steven was created. Fine. But if you want to salvage this thing, you're gonna have to tell me that Jake is the guy. Jake is gonna have to be the real Mark. Otherwise, Jake is the number one personality. Mark and Steven are the identities. Are the two others. That's my theory. Because if it's not, then you screwed up royally. Because what is Jake doing, bro? Like Jake we clearly see Jake. He got a different accent.
Yeah.
You can't leave. They can't be like Marvel don't work like this to where they just completely leave it up to you to figure it out. They gonna tell you enough to be like, oh no, this the guy. Mark is a personality, bro. If he not, then you just telling me just Jake is. You gonna wait to the 5th episode to give me Jake's origin? I think Jake is the guy. I think Jake is who they really are, and I think he been hiding behind Mark and Steven this whole time. And if he's not, then none of this shit really makes sense. All this shit is just nonsensical. And just what was the point? What was the point of this entire show if you just sneak Jake in at the end, or you just ignore Jake and just don't explain together?
Yeah.
Which they could do.
Yeah.
You've done it for 5 episodes in a show about DID. You keep showing me clues that the characters will not acknowledge this guy. Man, I can't believe you did that. No, that wasn't me. They never say, well, maybe there's somebody. No. They see the tomb shaking. Just walk past it. We see this dude, he got a broken nose. They inject him with something, and then we magically get Mark and Steven back.
Yeah.
You just injected something into this dude's neck. Why would you do that if that was Mark? You see Mark subdued. Okay, come here. Steven is like pretty much free for the most. Like Steven, we never really see, like he pop up finally. He come up and like Harold get him to come out, and he like, don't call my mom, and he calls. That was a good scene too, bro. Because he's just holding the phone like, it's your mom.
Yeah,
that's a great scene. This is all good stuff. It's just kind of like, but for what? It's all like, it's very well done. It's for nothing though, right? Yeah. So again, I'll let you get into just to wrap that up, bro. If Jake ain't the guy, then y'all screwed up. Like if Jake don't take over and regain and save him, what was the point? That's all. Yeah, yeah.
No, I did. I actually think they're going to do your second part. It was just all nods, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going to do. Like,
yeah,
like because this is like
you don't think he ain't gonna be nobody?
The one you convincing me. No, I'm gonna get into that now. But the one where you convincing me is when you think about it. For the longest time, outside of having a mirror, and you can see like in their life growing up, Steven would only remember the stuff that happens when Mark obviously had his episode and he becomes Steven. So that's why he couldn't remember the one things with his mother, but he could remember other. Like he had no recollection. Then there's those, like you say, but when we fast forward to that action where people are dying, people are dead around and all this and all that. No one knows what happened. Like people were stabbed, that people were, when he first got the scarab and his hand was bloody and all those people in the streets, Mark or Steven don't know what happened. Right. Like, and it would only seem that with them having a loss of memory like that there's somebody else because in the other situations, they know what each other are doing. They're coexisting with each other.
Yeah, they watch each other like, oh, okay.
They coexisting with each
other. Kiss my wife.
Yeah, they can coexist. So for them to have those situations where they have no recollection, and we only saw that before with Steven, where he had no recollection. He only remembers when he was around, right?
How can you do that? Yeah, like how you doing that? How you blocking Mark out? Mark is his body.
Yeah, like so they having those situations. So all the crumbs lead to the fact that would lead to it being Jake. Like realistically, the main character is Jake. You get what I'm saying? Like some twist at the end. Like no, Steven, you're not real. But also, Mark, you're not real.
You're not real, Mark. I'm Jake. I'm this guy from Chicago. I'm not no damn mercenary. I got kicked out of the military the first month because I got DID. I'm nuts.
Yeah.
Nah, my bad. I ain't gonna say no offense. I'm just saying, but it's like
to him, that's how he would say it though.
That's what I'm saying. He like,
that's how he would say it.
I'm just this guy, you know what I mean? I got this disorder, you know what I mean?
Sound like
they kicked me out. So to deal with that, I just created these two personalities. I recreated my childhood. I blamed my mom because that's another thing too. Like, man, y'all made a woman the villain. Like Marvel did that. Y'all made a woman and ethnic woman at that. Y'all made her a villain. Y'all made her the abuser.
Yeah,
That was like that really surprised me. Like, okay. So that right there tells me like, would Marvel do that? Because I think they could easily go back and be like, oh nah, she wasn't no abuser. That was Jake. Jake, in order to try to forgive himself for killing his brother, he made his mom an abuser, and he made his mom blame him and all this stuff. You know, I'm just saying, like, because I don't know. It just seemed like I'm like, man, I'll be real surprised if they hold that up, like that his mom was the one. But go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, no. But my thought is right. I don't think actually in that situation, even in this hospital or this asylum, I think realistically, I think that's Khonshu. I think the doctor playing Harrow is really Khonshu. Wow. I think Khonshu trying to because even we got the part where he knew about his mother died, but ultimately I think Khonshu is trying to tap in to get him back, right? Meaning
because he do say free me.
Yeah, because he too far off the rails, right?
Wow, bro.
And I think Khonshu trying to. It's gotten too far where he can't control it no more. I think that this whole who's talking to him right now in the form of because I think we're gonna come back and all of a sudden Harold gonna be evil. We saw those bodies, we saw those souls coming down. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go up and all of a sudden no groundwork laid other than the fact that he shot him. No groundwork laid that they needed to have an epic battle.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But we're gonna when we come back up.
Stu been fighting Khonshu though. That's
man. I think what's going on. So even those episodes he's having, that's still in the subconscious. Like they really just sitting in that chair. God, I think they sitting in that chair the whole time. Oh my God. And I think in that chair, this is theory. We going rogue. So this could be all rogue, right? So we're
going rogue. Yeah, let's do it.
Hold me to it. I'm rogue as fuck.
Yeah.
But what I think him sitting in that chair, I think he's sitting in that chair going the whole time going through his personalities. His DID is triggering.
No, he says it.
Yeah.
He said it. He says, man, he say something like, man, this has been crazy having you relive your childhood or having you relive everything that's happened and all.
Yeah.
Harold says that to him. Almost to telling him like, man, we just went through a lot just now to get you to. He's like, oh, it's good because he gets all the personalities to come out, right, and talk to him.
Yeah,
he get Mark to come out, he get Steven eventually to come out. He got Jake. Jake is like they got to subdue Jake.
Yeah,
they don't even talk to Jake.
You don't even talk to Jake.
They just like
Jake about to shank somebody.
Yeah, Jake.
So I think that entire time, I think realistically that the Arthur character is really Khonshu.
Wow, bro.
Trying to get Jake or Mark to go through this episode, right? Have him go through this so he can get him back. He need to be back in control, and he probably been in control since that cave. He ain't been in control. He didn't get in control when he went when Jake went into Egypt. I think Khonshu been in control because I think even that later run showed that he was
is any of this real?
Say what?
Is any of it real, man? Anything happening? Like, God
I think he's been in control. Now, there's always going to be. I'm still going through because you remember I told you I don't think that any of the stuff. I think this moment is this moment like some of that stuff that happened before is not just the way that they saw it. And to your point, if this is really Jake, all that shit that's happening is not the way it really happened. Right. There was a whole nother way. Like he might have been he might have, it could have been a situation where he actually offed his mother. Right.
He killed his brother too.
Did those things. Right. He the one that he never got over
the
things that happened. Right. And then but fast forward. So the thing, so that's how I like, no, none of this happened. My thought is kind of more in the line of how it's happened isn't the way that it's been portrayed. Right. Same or similar to like episode 1 where all that stuff was happening. It was Steve. Like, no, Steven was calling moms who had the fish with the one fin. That's the world he's living in. That's not really how that even him walking to talking to Crawley is not how that really happened. Now we get to the point, to your point, the stuff was happening with Mark. Maybe ain't even happening the way it's really happening, right? But so there's a version where this shit is going on. I just don't think it's been that way the way they see it. But again, going back to this episode, I really do think that's Khonshu disguised, or he's taking on because something got to be even for the hippopotamus to show up, right? I know no one's come through this way in a while, right? She got that kind of like line, like what do you have to be like an Egyptian believer to, kind of like, you have your own kind of celestial plane, whether you're showing up in this way, or if you're in Wakanda, if you're a Wakandan, you're part of that realm, you got the purple drink. So when you do your thing, you go to that celestial plane. If you're Norse god, you go to that one. Like, is it designed that way? But ultimately, these other gods are able to enter, whether it's the hippopotamus. I think they were talking about Osiris. He was his doorway was open this way. Ultimately, I think Khonshu, even in his state, can reach, right? And he's probably going to try to get him to get Layla to free them up top, right?
Yeah.
So that they can do their thing. But I really do think this is Khonshu still manipulating. He's been manipulating Mark, let's do air quotes, his entire life. And he's really playing a number on him now. I just don't think that's Harold. I think that's Khonshu.
I think you you definitely make a.
I could be totally wrong.
No, but you have as a precedent for this, right? Because we know, we know the source material that this is based off of. There is a storyline where it is Khonshu at the end, where he's like, "No, it was just me." You know what I mean? Like, that was just, I wanted to control you. That would be wild, bro. If this whole thing was just he been there from the beginning, Because I mean, he's a god, right? Like he could be there from the beginning. I mean, nigga said he remember every night. I can turn back the stars and all this stuff. Man, he definitely could have been there. He might have been able to go back. I killed your brother, Mark. You know what I mean? Like whatever it's just to set him on his path.
Set him on his path early.
I need you to be the Moon Knight. But even that, again, but yeah, it gotta be one of these. So like you said, we going rogue.
I'm going rogue. I got one.
I think you pulling me over there because I'm like,
I got one more rogue for you, man.
Go ahead.
Getting along the lines of this, I think when they get to Amit, it's gonna have the face of his mother. Wow, that's rogue.
That's rogue.
They might let that live.
Because that's a line in there where he like, you're not my mother. That's not my mother.
Yeah. And they might, like you say, if they're going to stick to Landon, right? If they're going to stick to Landon with, like, because you make a good point with it was her, because I think in the story it was actually the father that was kind of that way, right? It was a father that was abusive. They're doing it with the mother. So if they're sticking with the mother and they want to stick to that Landon, then they might not bring her face around again, right? Because that's especially for Disney, that was a touchy thing that they did, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they're gonna stick to that Landon and want to like make a show that and not kind of remove it. Like, no, that didn't really happen. It was Jake who killed his mother, and that never really happened.
Yeah.
To kind of like retcon it.
Yeah.
So that was my original. You kind of convinced me on that one because I had that one. Like, I actually think when he goes through the thing with Amit, or if that becomes a thing, because at this point I'm like, why would that be a thing now? I don't know how they're gonna do this episode 6, bro. But like, because it don't seem like, I don't know what ending they're trying to get to. You get what I'm saying? I just don't know what is the end game. Like, what was the end game of this? Because I guess I felt like he defeated what he needed to defeat internally. That probably should have been done a little bit earlier. But yeah, again, I already went on my soapbox. My point is, I think in the stadium is actually all that maneuvering around is just being controlled by Khonshu, trying to get back control. And who knows if he really lost control with the death of the mother, like he really, really lost control, right? Like he had a hand on the steering wheel, but once the mother passed, and now Mark couldn't really control. He could live with the DID.
Yeah.
What do you call it? A fugue state? Fugue state?
Yep.
Like he could still function, right? And still have a little bit of control of it to the point now where it's like something can happen. He can become Steve and then probably be Steve for like months, days, weeks. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't even know if those travels that he's been doing was, like you say, was in the name of Mark. Those travels he might have been doing might have been in the name of Jake.
Yeah.
Because it never seemed like, when you think about it, does Mark seem like he needed to be strapped up? We get what it makes sense. Yeah. Like why would Mark need to be strapped to the bed? Like, why would he come back and strap himself?
Facts. That's wild.
Maybe I'm just overthinking that, but
yeah.
I don't get why Mark.
I got you. I'm asking this. I'm like, how does? Yeah. Wow. Okay. So yeah. How does?
I know I went rogue.
No. I'm with you, man. We got to go rogue because.
And then you got one episode before
Dr. One Strange episode left, bro. We have no other directions to go. Bro, I mean, unless we just concede that this is gonna be stupid, you know?
Yeah, I think we go. I think that's where we're gonna go, man. Like, think about it. It's one episode, and the one episode is for Doctor Strange. So there's gonna be a shoehorn. Is that why they haven't done any MCU stuff?
Yeah.
Right. No MCU tie. Like, it's not even close to the MCU, bro.
Nah, man.
Like, that's a deep cut to be like, even for MCU, deep cut to be like, oh, the celestial plane. I was there. But that's a deep cut to be like, oh, for MC, even for MCU, like usually they put it on the server. You got to go like, oh, that's a comic cut, right? Like, nah, this is celestial plane is, this is MCU. That's actually, Black Panther. Oh, that's what we got. So they got one show before Doctor Strange. Are they gonna shoehorn something in? Are we gonna look up and some portal gonna open? And this was in a whole nother universe.
Boy,
that'd
be
this
overkill,
is a whole nother universe. You get what I'm saying? Like the whole time, really, what it
is. Oh
yeah.
This
ain't the real Moon Knight.
Right.
The Moon Knight is really over here.
Yeah, because we ain't heard nothing about the snap. We ain't heard nothing about any of the larger heroes.
Like some shit gonna get warped because Wanda did something, and that's how we gonna end this episode. Like, yeah, that's why, because this wasn't the real Moon Knight. The real Moon Knight is, we have a whole new story, and that's how they really gonna do it. I'll be mad. I'll be hyped, but I'll be mad.
I'll be pissed. Yeah, because I'm like, you wasted my damn time.
This wasn't the real Moon Knight. Because
this wasn't the real Moon Knight. Real Moon Knight might be strapped to a damn hospital bed, or he might be jailed, getting stuff injected into his neck. So
or he might be somewhere kicking ass. You get what I'm saying? Like a for real super. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's like,
this wasn't the real one because this was a
different
universe.
Again, what is the point? I know y'all ain't just put all this out just to promote multiverse of madness. Like, damn, I didn't need all this to see I was gonna see it no matter what. You just confusing people at this point, and you wasted Moon Knight. Because it's looking like a waste, man.
Like, think about the last, they did a lot of things, right? There's a lot of exposition, but they shoehorned a lot when you really even though it was all talk, they shoehorned a lot in that last episode of Loki, right?
Yeah.
Everything was leading up to Kang. He who remains, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
But then we got him. And then we got a lot of talking at the end, right? But a lot went up to that. And it was like, okay, we got to that. But like, did we need to wait to the last episode to get to that? Right? Like, there was really no battle. There was no none of this. It was, they gave us a big reveal and we sat in the room. Yeah. Right? But it did happen. So they're going to have some turning point for this last episode. Yeah, they show images of them fighting on top of a roof. And like at this point in time, it seemed out of place. Like meaning like Harrow and Moon Knight in his last episode. So I think they're gonna reluctantly put it back on because he feel like he need to stop Ammon and Harrow from doing what they're doing.
Which means he got a free Khonshu.
Yeah. So he's reluctantly gonna agree to do what he need to do with Khonshu, right? But that my thought is he gonna realize what who's been talking to him and who's been having him go through all these episodes, who've been thinking he'd been curing him and not curing him, but getting him back right has been Khonshu this whole in that state the entire time. I'm just wondering now, did he really get shot? I'm still on that house. Like, I don't think he really got shot, right? But he could have, and because even Harold, he told him like, hey man, now you've been here since your mom's died. Damn. You came here when your mom's died. You walked in here. So did he walk in there when her mom died? Like, and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this shit wild, man. Like,
well, who knows? And like, we're going to get to the end. I actually think we're going to get to the end. The show going in, and they're going to link it to something. We know something. I think it's going to be because we haven't even got a post credit. Right.
Nah.
So I think we're going to get to, because even the other one was getting started. Maybe with Loki. Did we get one with Loki? Like,
what was
Loki? 5 or something? I feel like we didn't have a lot of post credits with Loki.
Nah. We got a lot with Wanda.
Falcon started doing them around like episode like 3 or 4, but especially when John got in trouble. But he made his own shield and all that. They started doing it. Hawkeye, I can't remember. But I say all that to say this, like, I forgot my point but hey, ultimately, we're gonna have something in this last episode. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we gotta get something. That was my point. I think we gonna look back and be like, this may be the one, like you just said, like Marvel ain't gonna do that. I think we gonna look back and was like, did that really? Like it was like it was a thought exercise, like an experiment.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
like if a tree falls in,
we know you're right.
No one's around to hear. Did it make a sound?
The glass half full or half empty? I
think we gonna get to the end and wonder, like,
it's a lot of goofiness, man.
Was this real or was it fake? At any point in time,
we already there. Like, we're even when 5 episodes in, and this is not a real superhero show.
it's not a superhero show at all. Like you can't, like I say, honestly, I think they did a study. Moon Knight has been in the show less than 3 minutes.
That's sad. He fought some jackals.
He fought a jackal, and then when you really think about it,
some henchmen.
He fought a jackal and a thing.
Yeah,
he got stabbed up a little bit by some regular dudes.
Some henchmen dudes.
I just watched a little cartoon, and he was fighting because he was getting controlled, right? So first he was squabbing. He was giving Tony that business. He gave Black Widow that business. He started. Cap trying to throw hands with him. They doing things. He hopping in and out. They get him a couple times. He get them, but he had something that was controlled. He was in with the Beyonder and got him. So he had something controlling him, and he was able to get free. But he's like, "Nah, I'm here with you, bitches. I'm good. I'm staying over here." They was trying to get him to go back to the tower. It's like, nah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I ain't messing with
He had more action than that than what we've gotten. So that's what I'm saying. It's not a superhero show.
That's wild. We on the cusp of something that might ultimately be experimental. Like again, bro, we don't know who this guy is, but let's just comparison's sake, right? For comparison's sake, compare him to other characters who got introduced, right? Like, let's just go back to when Black Panther first was introduced in Civil War. He comes in, you see T'Challa, he's talking to his dad. His dad dies. He's on his vengeful.
They get to the money.
Yeah, he like, I'm getting revenge. Don't worry, I'll take care. I'll kill him first.
Yeah.
Don't worry. In my country, death is not the end. I will kill him first.
Yeah.
So he come out. We see the suit for the first time. Damn. He attacked Winter Soldier, Bucky. So, to your point, to your comparison about the cartoon, that seemed very similar to the comparison you just get, or the cartoon scenario you just gave, where you fighting the Avengers. That takes care of things right away, right? We see the connection to the MCU world. He's interacting with established characters. We get to see his power and move set. We get none of that in this show. In this show, we've almost gotten the opposite. There's no connection to the outer world or established characters. We don't really know what Moon Knight can do. I mean, he fought some jackals. He seems to be invulnerable for the most part. Like, he can take the suit, I guess, can take bullets.
Yeah.
And he can't be he can be impaled, but he's a mummy, basically, right? But that's about it. I don't know. We don't know the true scope of his powers. You assume that they work only at night, but they've never said that. That's never been established.
Not in the MCU. Can he fly? He got super strength.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just seen a bunch of guys impaling. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't kill him. So
they shot the cape up, but
so can you
he got unlimited stings and.
If the Hulk showed up, can you handle yourself? What do you get what I'm saying?
What do you do against the Hulk?
Yeah, you.
Right.
What exactly. Can you, if Thor showed up, if you had to go against Cap?
Yeah, exactly. When we see Captain Marvel, and we immediately almost can compare them to other characters. Like, oh shit. Okay, damn, can she hang with Wanda? Like, damn, she powerful as hell. Like, she can fly, she got strength.
Yeah.
She seemed to be good with hand-to-hand combat. We understand these characters immediately when they get introduced. We've got none of that. No, we only understand that he suffered a bunch of trauma in his life, that his marriage and his relationships have fallen apart.
Yes.
And that he doesn't have a grip on reality at all. That would have been interesting in a movie. Maybe his second or third movie. You know how we got, like, imagine that they did that with Tony Stark. Imagine that they got immediately into, that's like, that'd be like taking Tony Stark, and the first movie you see about Tony Stark is Iron Man 3.
It's PTSD.
Yeah, it's PTSD.
Where he, or some shape or form where he got to figure himself out. He got to set himself together before he can really get back to work.
About some shit you don't even know about. You just like, what happened? Oh, yeah, it was a battle in New York. And that's, again, would have been interesting had we got a Moon Knight 1 and, movie and sequel. And then you get into the second movie, you're like, oh, that's the source of his trauma in the DID. But first, we've already, in the first movie, would have already established, oh, nah, this dude's super powerful.
We established his superhero.
Yeah, we established that he get his powers from the moon at night. Khonshu is the source of the power. He made a deal with Khonshu to save his wife, yada yada. This is his main villain. He defeated him. Bushman been looking for him. He get all that out. We ain't got none of that. We jump straight into his trauma.
This was movie 3 material, meaning like on him continuing to do what he's doing is only making his situation worse, and they could even have it, like you say. We know he got issues with moms, but like we find out now when we get to episode 3 or movie 3, even movie 2, that that happens, and then we got the situation where he's like, now he can't want to call it control, but it's uncontrollable now. Like he can go to fugue state at any time, right? It's not, he can go at any. It don't have to be something that happened. Now he can just be like walking down the street, right? Or he can wake up, he can go to sleep, he can be in the mirror and get taken over. Like anything could happen, and like he's having to deal with that to get his stuff back. Mm-hmm. But that first one was we establishing the superhero. Because let's not forget through all of this, that's what we here for. Like,
that's what we here for.
You and I, that's what we here for.
That's why we watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's what we here for.
You know what I mean? Like, we didn't watch Peter Quillen mommy and daddy issues.
No. And it was definitely
we got to that in the second volume.
It was definitely a family story.
It was definitely.
But
we got there by shooting aliens and spaceship chases and explosions and big villains arguing with each other. And we know they had, even when they started their little family, they had issues from the jump. But we got what we came for, right? And it was only in the second movie that we were like, oh yeah, this was his dad. And yeah, he really, Peter needs a dad. Oh no, but Peter already had it. Peter always had a dad. You know what I mean?
A Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins. Peter always had a dad, right? The point I'm making is movies are important. And because a TV show don't matter if you only gonna do 6 episodes. Shit, Daredevil would be totally different if we only had 6 episodes of it. It wouldn't be remembered as the class. Maybe it would, but it wouldn't be quite as good as it was if we only got 6 episodes of it, where they try to tell you everything in 6 episodes.
And they didn't get to say season 3 before they got deep in this stuff. Like we found out his mom's, a spoiler alert, who his real mom's was. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that was season 3.
But like you say, hey man, I'm here for a superhero show.
I'm here for a superhero show.
I'm here to see Daredevil crack skulls.
Yeah, that's why I'm watching. It's Daredevil, bruh. I'm cool with Matt Murdock. Right? I'm cool with that. I'm here for Daredevil though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm here.
I thought I came for Moon Knight.
I came for Moon Knight, bruh.
I'm cool that I'm cool with the fact that he got the DID. We can get into that. That's cool, but that's probably a season 2 thing about why he got it and what other possible personalities he can have. You probably want to establish first that, hey, He's a crime fighter who gets his powers from the moon.
Hey, bruh, you know what they probably finding out over there? Let's just keep it a buck. You know what they probably finding out, even Feige and them finding out, is that it cost a lot, man, to do fucking superhero fucking TV shows. And as much as he probably hate, like they probably, I'm guarantee you when the team walked in, they walked in with when they sold the show, they walked in with the shit we just watched. Right. And then he was going to turn into his Moon Knight, do all this shit. And it was like, easy there, fella.
Yeah,
easy there,
100% right.
Like, think about it.
We
watched the whole season of Wanda. Now, mind you, we got 6 movies before Wanda. But at what point in time did we get some superhero shit until like it wasn't until the end?
Right. Until that last fight scene, right.
Yeah, but it wasn't it. We didn't even, we got the Scarlet Witch moment, and then we had like, but her story, we already seen a bunch of stuff. So that was a good spot to have that. Right. I get that one. And we was thirsty at that time. Like this pandemic and shit. But there was nothing really superhero about it, right? It was, but they had already kind of showed a lot of her. She was in Endgame. She was outside. So we got a lot of her before. And then they go,
we knew what we had.
Yeah, we already knew. We already got that in the bank. It's
you walked through that
like
door.
You were saying, like we already seen a bunch of things. So you can do that. You can tell this story once you've already. This is what I'm here for. And I didn't honestly, when they was doing WandaVision, it wasn't like I was like, okay, we about to get into the, okay, they about to do this, and they're gonna have to. I'm like, what the hell they about to do? Like, I never expected it was gonna be like this bang bang pow pow kind of deal. I say all that to say this. That's what all these people gonna find out. That's the people on the other side. They picked the Marvels, whatever they were when they went to Netflix. They did it right because they had actually characters that didn't require all that shit to do it. Right? It don't take a lot. Hell, he fought the first year without a suit. He just had a Scully over the grill.
Yeah. What is like the last 2 episodes, maybe? Maybe the last episode?
Was it season 1 that he finally got the suit?
It was like the last episode of season 1.
Yeah, he was kicking ass without a suit. He had some gloves and a Hanley and a damn and a Scully to his nose.
Took his time. They took their time.
But he was kicking ass, and they didn't. I'm sure that didn't cost like everything cost a lot, but I'm sure that didn't because they didn't really need
practical effects.
Yeah, they didn't have to do none of that. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have to do none of that to get to that point. They didn't have to do none of that with Jessica Jones.
Nah, bro, she literally didn't even have a costume ever.
You know what I'm saying? Luke Cage, none of that.
Didn't have
a
costume. Dude in a hoodie.
That's it. Like they had a thing that they can do, and they can get to the money, and they didn't probably have to cut corners. They didn't have to cut corners on the action, right?
And ultimately, that's what you're right, and not to cut you off, but to your point, again, not to jump to another show, but that's what we're seeing with Halo. We see this with a lot of shows.
100%.
We're running into a problem where, like you said, it costs a lot of money for that Moon Knight suit to be on screen.
Yeah.
Why is Peter Parker always taking his damn mask off? Because it costs a lot of money for him to be swinging through the air. I mean, that's a movie, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It costs a lot of money, especially for a character who hasn't proven himself yet, right? He's not a commodity. We know we got Oscar Isaacs, great actor. It's like, I think they just was like, we'll just let him act.
We get to the actor, and then that'll mask the fact. And sometimes they're too smart for us. Like we gonna no, bro. It don't change. Like we just not that much fans where it's like, okay, no, I'm cool because what I really wanted to do was learn about this. Not again. Yeah. This has been very. I like that shit, but I would have watched it in a documentary. I watched. I'm more than one. But I tell you all the time,
great man.
I watch documentaries all the time.
Mental illness and comic book literature. I'm cool with that.
They could have did a one-off with this.
That would have been very interesting. Yes,
they could have did a one-off with this, explaining it, going through the whole thing, and then once we got to this episode, it was like, okay, that's what that. Okay, if I wasn't initiated, I wasn't educated on it. I got educated on what that is. Like we could have did that, but they finding out like with these shows costing them a lot, and Feige still got a boss, right? Yeah. Like so, it's like okay, we gonna put these on, but like, not it ain't really we got all our Moon Knight action in the trailers, in the commercials before.
That was it.
Like anybody that's gonna watch, because they really turning me off. I'm gonna keep it. But now I'm getting them back on my box. Like, I watched up. But like anybody's gonna watch that, I guarantee you right now, because I might probably have to be told about this. Now this Miss Marvel shit. I'm probably gonna have to be told about it. Like you should have watched that. Like right?
Yeah, this is the one you got to tell me about.
They stuck Spider-Man in there, right? But I guarantee you, the shit that we seeing that's in the trailer, it's gonna be all the magic shit she do.
That's it. This shit about to be about a teen. This shit about you're right, man. Absolutely right. This shit is about to be about a teenage girl, a coming to age
story.
Teenage girl in high school.
Yeah,
and then they'll throw in, oh yeah, she's brown and all. She's a Muslim and all this shit. That all that shit gonna be thrown in there. But that's ultimately what that show is about. Oh yeah, and by the way, but what we see in the trailer.
They're gonna do all
the shiny dangly stuff.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah, once we get to the show, it's about a girl in high school.
Again, great. These different stuff, like putting, maybe even showing people Islam, like people might be ignorant that you want to kind of put those things in. Great, but give me a one shot before the show, the little background on what Kamala's religion mean to her, right? Because don't again. Great if you want to do that, and great if you don't want to watch that. But I didn't come for just that. I came for some action. So I'm gonna need her to grow up and like expand and smack people with a big ass hand in the face.
Yo, man, she one of the Marvels, bro.
If I don't get that, then what was the point of me showing up? Because I could read the comic and go ahead and I can get more information on that, because they probably gonna do a hell of a job in the comic about her. But she became a popular character. Her different story. Probably not for some people, but for others, right? Yeah. Okay, you got me. That's how it's supposed to go. But for some people, they really liked her. Not everybody, but for some people, they really did. So my point is, I can get that from the comic. Same thing with Moon Knight. I can get that they told that story there. You could do me a one shot, but don't make a show to try to give me that. No, if you're gonna give me that, okay, cool. But I better get some action. Kamala better get up, hand get big, smack somebody in the face, push them down. She stomp on some people.
Yeah,
she do her thing. She come back. She go fast. You know what I'm saying? It's Ramadan. Yeah. She got to go do her thing. She come back at it. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? That's all. That's all respect you. But you get what I'm saying? Like
I get what you're saying.
All that in there, cool. But don't
that's real.
And I'm same thing if it was us. Like if they did the Wakandans, I just don't need about how much they going through, and when they show up at the UN and they getting different racism. This real story, right? What different African nations may be going through. But I'm gonna need to see the Dormalachi with some ass. I don't just need to see all the conflict
and all that shit.
No, this is.
I didn't come here for that.
No, it's 1,000 shows like that.
Because you know why I didn't come here for that? First of all, we got lucky with Oscar Isaacs and Ethan Hawke. Like, we got two great actors. The majority of these shits are not gonna have performances like this.
Absolutely.
So your writing ain't even your writing ain't even your writing ain't even that good, B. Whoever the writer is, you not even gonna be able to create something that's compelling to hold me with just that, right? So you might as well just get to the money. Show me the action. Don't try to you can't even. Oh no, this is a very interesting story about this young girl who's growing up Muslim, and you ain't got nothing for me. Whatever it is you think you can write. Your
story might not be an entertainer. Yeah,
your stories. That story that you think you got, somebody else might be able to make that story, but the time you got in the restraints, and they probably just hire, like we looked at the credentials for the dude that even wrote Moon Knight. It's like, but these writers, bro, it's like y'all ain't got nothing. So just please show me the action. Y'all just had a video game that was compelling as fuck. Like, she was getting chased around by these cops who took over the city.
AIM and all that shit.
They looking for Inhumans and all this stuff. Give me that. Please get to that.
Yeah. And then I respected the father. You know what I mean? They had it was within the thing. Like, but don't overdo the one. And again, that's for any of them. Whether I don't care if it was our story they were trying to tell, right? Right. Like they were doing that shit in the damn Luke Cage. But they always had a dope soundtrack. They had that part. They had the dope soundtrack and some ass kicking.
He was whooping ass. To the point, you can even argue with Luke Cage. They maybe gave you too much ass whooping, right? Like he fought the Jamaican dude. Like maybe I'm remembering it different. He fought the Jamaican dude like 3 different times in like the, you know what I mean? Like you talk about one big fight. No, they fought like several times. Yeah. He was whooping ass. He got shot. He was in the hospital. He had to be repaired. It was you could argue that was like too much ass whooping, right?
It was some ass whoopings. And you almost can argue that, like you say, season 1 Daredevil, season 3 Daredevil. It was a lot of ass whoopings happening. Like it was some asses getting whooped, bro.
He was messing people up, bro.
And my thing is, my original point where I was talking about them before I went on my little side rant is that, realize is that for superhero shows, they did it right. They did it right. Like they picked the right characters, they had the right environment, and they were able to deliver on a lot of things that Feige might not like now. He might not want to call it canon and recognize it, but their team is probably looking at it like, yo, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this with these shows. Because if we extend them out, we start looking like these could easily turn. One, in fact, you got, like you say, Isaac and all of that shit costs just to have them. So what are we gonna pay for the action of that? But then like our shows can instantly start looking like Arrowverse, right? Because CGI, like the CGI is never gonna be as good as the movies. Right?
Oh, you called it in this episode.
I mean,
you said
right
it.
Here,
CGI was terrible.
It was trash.
It's been terrible the entire show.
Absolutely, to the point like people, it looked like I think the CGI is bad because really this is a movie. They just like it's a movie within a movie, TV show within the TV show kind of.
Yeah, which I don't think
it's too late now.
That ain't gonna bear no. Nah, that ain't gonna bear no fruit.
It was just bad CGI.
Nah,
right?
it's just bad CGI. And a mistake. And I think those are mistakes. Them leaving the camera in there and them this like, oh man, that's definitely a green screen. Yeah, it is because it's bad CGI. It's not because it's a showing within it. I mean, that might still be. That might still be.
I'd be sorry. It could be, like you say. But at this point, like I said, I think they're gonna. We put the slate, and it's like, man, we got the slate out there. But woo, okay, Echo. See, that's what you're not gonna get, Echo.
Yeah.
What we gonna do is we gonna bring back some of them guys where we can just pop a costume on them, and they can go to work.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
We could just pop
we got about 2 or 3 stuntmen. We put masks on all of them.
Yeah, we ain't even got to give Jessica. We give Jessica a leather jacket.
Bro, that's so easy.
You get what I'm saying? She can just go to
them
work.
Boots and them same jeans. Bro, she ain't got no costume, bro. Bro, Jessica Jones can technically fly. How many times did you see Jessica Jones fly? Jessica Jones can fly.
Yeah.
She can fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she can literally fly. She flew in the show a few times, but you never actually seen her in the air. Like, remember, it was kind of like, did you watch Jessica Jones?
Yeah, I didn't finish it though.
But it's a point where she don't like the way they play it off is, I don't really like doing this, but she flies.
Netflix was like, we don't really like paying for that, so cold. But yeah, like they probably just figuring that out.
How much that costs just to get you,
Yeah, we got to do the insurance. We got to add on that if we start doing that shit. Like, nah, it is not happening. It's not pointless. It's pointless to do that shit in New York. We do a movie, you might get that, but we do that in this. Like, they probably just figuring that out, man. Like, they sell a show, and it's probably the best episodes that we see because this is what we sell it. Right. And they sold this episode when they did Hawkeye. They probably sold. They were going to do Hawkeye anyway because he was an Avenger. But as they're bringing these in, they got to get the writers and they got to get everybody some creative. This is how we going to do it. Okay, build around that. And then, but you're only getting such and such for the series. So this your budget. Figure it out from there. Right. You got to figure it out from there. Oh yeah. So we want to have Moon Knight have this big fight against. No.
Yeah. Because exactly. Imagine the conceptions, right? Like when they was conceived, like the conceptual phase where it was like, oh yeah, he's gonna fight against 8 jackals, and yeah, Bushman is gonna come in, and Bushman's gonna be possessed by the spirit of blah blah blah, whoever, and he got this guide, and then the guide is gonna come in. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, whoa. This is what we have. We're gonna have. Listen, we're not even gonna have all the gods. You understand? We're gonna have about 6 people in a room. They're gonna wear. They're gonna wear country specific attire.
Yeah.
We're not gonna see the gods.
Not. So we're
okay.
They're gonna float on the top.
Yeah.
We got these figurines.
Right. And when I say figurines, I mean like we got them out the gift shop the night before. Like we just bought them, okay?
Them shits right there.
Yeah, those right there. Yeah. You were wondering why I bought the entire gift shop out? That's why. Okay.
There go Osiris right there.
Yeah. So you're right, man. Budget constraints, man.
Yeah. And I guarantee you that.
But that's my whole theory anyway, though. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying. But that's been my theory anyway about why they try to propel certain female characters and certain ethnic characters. It's ultimately because you don't want another Chris Evans and another Robert Downey Jr. You want who is Layla? Who's the actors that play Layla? I don't even know. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Yeah.
No offense to her, but she's not gonna be making Tony, you know what I mean? She's not gonna be making Robert Downey Jr. money, Chris Evans money, or Thor money. And I think what they try to put that behind the name, oh no, this is diversity and inclusion. Yeah, diversity and inclusion. Yeah, we need less white males and all this stuff, but it's really like also those people don't make as much as everybody else. Like, you notice that, like, oh no, there's this new writer. We wanted the whole entire we wanted the entire writing staff to be Egyptian. I'm not saying they did this, but I'm just using examples. Like,
but the head writer was.
We wanted but come to find out, how much is he getting paid?
Yeah,
because if it's a reason I've never heard of him before, and that usually comes with a less paycheck, right? Like, it's easy to just be like, oh no, diversity, inclusion. They come with a cheaper.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going
budget,
and that's across the. That's where we work. That's at our jobs. Like,
that's how they get us in real life. You know what I mean? It's like,
the less they.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to, just diversity. We're trying to put some color in this office.
Do that. It's definitely less.
It's like, how much? Well, how much are we making? Well, there's going to be some constraints, and I think that's the games we play, man. You know what I mean? I think that's why we end up getting this. We end up getting this bait and switch, man. Where it's like, damn, why is Layla getting all this? Wait a minute. Yeah, because Layla's gonna be the one that moves on, that goes forward, and she's gonna make whatever she make. She's not gonna get this big Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans deal. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like, oh no, you're the Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah.
Can't pay you. No, you just make some. You'll make some cameos here and there, but Meanwhile, Isaac's over here, acting his ass off, balls and shit. You know what I mean? He it's a great performance, but it's like, you're just one and done. We're not gonna sign a movie deal with you, even though you deserve it. Budget constraints.
Yeah, they're gonna try to hope they can recreate a level, because once they got so bad that they had to start paying Scarlett Johansson. You see what they did with her? But you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's another example, right? Yeah, because you brought her all this way along, and you finally pay her. It's like, oh yeah, you're dead. Off you die here. This is where you end. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Once they got to the point. Because she wasn't even close to the ones in the beginning, right? And then now it's time to then it was movie time to cut a check, and then they still they still try to play on that, right? Yeah. She had proven outside of the MCU this. She was already had a stellar career. Yeah, she had a stellar career, but in those situations, like you say, they when they got to the point where like you say, in game and all that, and basically all of them was at least getting 20 in the gate, 20 to show up, and then and then they was gonna get back end money, so they gonna be getting money for the rest of their lives off of that in game shit, right? They're never gonna let that happen again.
Never gonna let it happen again, bro. They'll play you,
because they
playing them. They like this little girl, Miss Marvel.
Oh, Kamala. Yeah, she probably getting peanuts.
And they not gonna give her nothing. You know, they gonna be like, they'll use her, they'll put her out there and be like, no, look, she's brown. She's our first brown superhero. And she's a woman. Meanwhile, they using her for that. They stuffing her on the Miss Marvel's movie. How much you think she gonna be getting paid compared to Brie? How much you think Queen gonna be making compared to Brie? Queen ain't getting paid, bro. Come on.
Actually, I'm wondering. Oh, Queen ain't getting nothing.
Queen might be getting worse than Miss Marvel.
And they go nickel and dime. They go nickel and dime her whole character arc, right? Right into because like, oh, we're gonna make you full time, or we're gonna do this and do that, right? Nickel and dime her to the point where, like, just keep it a buck. Because I got it wondering, like, why are they using Maria for this movie when they could have? Like, why wouldn't they use Brie? Because, you know, they seem like they're trying to push Brie, or not use Queen.
Wait a minute, say that last part again.
Like, so, like, why would they bring in Maria to do one of the Marvel and Doctor Strange? Why wouldn't they at least use? Because they want to push Brie, but then, like, as a leader, right? But then also, if you're not going to use Brie, why wouldn't you use a variant of Proton? My girl, Queen. Why wouldn't you use a variant of Queen? Like, she was just in WandaVision 2, right? And you could have had her and wanted to see her, like. So I wonder if that's a base switch, and it's really Monica Rambeau, not Maria. But it didn't really ring to me. Like, why would you have it be Maria when you know, obviously if it's Brie, you probably got to cut a little check, right? But then if it's Queen was just in. So is that how we nickel and dime her, right? Like, we're not gonna put her in this, but we're gonna have her show up maybe in the Kamala show, right? She show up, make a couple appearances in the Kamala show. You know what I'm saying? They might nickel and dime her in a little Skrull invasion, right? Skrull invasion.
Yep. Because
you put in Doctor Strange and it's a $2 billion movie out the gate.
Oh yeah, she like, wait a minute.
Coke prices went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They play you. They try to play people like this, man. But it's really come down to nickels and dimes, man. And
because if Maria show up, she'll never show up again.
No,
that's it.
No, this is it.
Get a flashback in the Marvels whenever they do the movie. But
she'll get one.
If Maria Rambeau if that's the one that's flying around, or there's not his daughter, that's it. Maybe one flashback and that's it.
That's it.
You know, like I say, budgetary, like you say, the budgetary concerns.
It's like I'm gonna be a star. Slow down, okay? Listen. We don't really do those deals anymore.
That's what Oscar probably. Hey man, Oscar probably came at him with that like. Hey, man, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. I know. I seen the tab. Y'all brag about how much movies go.
Yeah.
So
you can't have both.
It was like
you can't be the biggest franchise, and then
yeah, we're not doing big deals anymore. We're not doing 10-picture contracts anymore. We're not doing none of that. Okay, cool. Okay. I'll just do this then. So this is what we're gonna do.
We're gonna be one and done.
Yeah, we're gonna kill you. Yeah, we're just gonna see, man. Like I say, it's funny how. We back on our bullshit, shit. But it's funny how like
instantly went back.
Yeah, it's just funny how and that's funny because I liked the episode, but it only made me not like the shit that came up before it.
Nah, I killed the other episodes for me.
You get what I'm saying? So it was like this should have been, but ultimately with that, it's like oh damn, I almost forgot my point. How we walked in was like, okay, they were gonna do these Marvel shows, these MCU shows. And then it's like, okay, shit, we seen this was me like, okay, damn, we seen what they did with Netflix. It wasn't even the MCU. Shit.
Yeah, you give me
we about to do this. Y'all gonna put that kind of energy into this? Yeah. Oh well, shit. Then it's like, okay, Wanda. Then it was just like,
yup.
You know what I'm saying? Like what is this all really about? Like
nothing.
What was this like Like, why don't you just make some
really.
hey man, just make some animated shows, man. Yeah. You do more with that. Like shit, I watch an animated
they did.
show. You get what I'm saying?
You think we would have got Ultra Vision in the show? You think we would have got Ultra Vision in live action?
Yeah,
how fucking expensive that is. That's ultimately what these all should be. I'll take that. Make these all animated and use them as voice actors. I'm cool with that. Make Moon Knight, make that shit animated.
Like a Moon Knight cartoon.
Y'all just did it. Well, what if?
Like a Moon Knight cartoon thing and give me a whole season.
You know what you could have did with that? You could have did everything you doing with the DID and actually showed Moon Knight whooping ass.
Yeah, you just drawing now.
With Layla too.
You gonna put them all? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
yeah, you did. I guess it's just weird to have such an interesting character. Matter of fact, dude, with the DID, I mean that's an interesting character to have, right? And we see Oscar Isaac's acting job. Oscar probably like, damn, I did Star Wars and this shit. Like, how I get on the two big? How I do the two biggest? Get on the two biggest franchises of all time
and get wasted.
I say, man, I don't know.
And then you were technically even in 3. I mean, he was X-Men. He was Apocalypse.
Yeah, he was I like those memes they be doing that where like they both going through their like character, going through their personalities.
Yeah.
And then when they screamed, it was Apocalypse at the door instead of the hippo.
Yo,
yeah. I just like I said, I don't know how they can, even if the last episode, I just don't know. And maybe they can. We have history on our side, right? You know, like when they say don't believe, when they say when somebody shows you who they are, shows you who they are, believe them, right? So you don't. I think if they shown you this already, that's who they are, right?
Yeah.
And we've had a couple of these MCU shows, and one thing I think we've agreed that none of them have really stuck the landing.
Yeah.
So I don't have any confidence that they're gonna stick the landing. The best episode for pretty much all of them have always been the one before the last, or the most entertaining. Maybe not the best, but maybe the most like entertaining.
Yeah, they just did it again, man.
Yeah, and they just did it. We called it.
There's a pattern, man.
So I don't know how they can finish this up because they really haven't had even all the other ones. There was an antagonist. Like we had an antagonist.
Yeah, like Agatha.
That.
Yeah, she revealed herself in that 5th episode, right? Or was it the 4th episode?
I think they ended up having 9, but you remember they were doing like 30 minutes. They were doing like
they had a lot of episodes. Yeah,
so they went to like 9 or 10, and she did in the last.
It was like the 7th or the
She was at the ending of the one, and then she was fully villain. In the one after that,
she came outside and was like,
you're the Scarlet Witch.
You're the Scarlet Witch. I figured it out. All right, so we're not gonna get that here because we just don't have anybody. There's nobody. This wild, bro.
Yeah, so we don't have all that. So what are we ultimately? Are we culminating at the end? Is the culmination right? Him having control of Moon Knight.
I see.
Is that what we are? Him having control of Moon Knight and saying, "Okay, boom, now, he's a guy. He's a guy we can use." Meaning, like, okay, now we have a Moon Knight. Like, you know, he's not a fractured superhero. Meaning, like, he always gonna have these situations, but he's not to the point he's been since his mother passed. Because he has no control since his mother has passed. Yeah. We got him through that. So, you know, we didn't mess around with DID. We really this whole series was just to let you know we wasn't messing around with DID. Like they said, the moment when the bleep you moment when Doctor Strange was in Infinity War and I got 14,375,000 possibilities. Just so me and you at that time we did that episode and we ran down all the times like, well, what if they did this?
Yeah,
MCU could just be like, "Hey, we told you, dumbasses, we did 14 million. You think we didn't think of that one? It didn't work."
Right. Yeah,
they may go through this and be like, "Don't come at us now." So when you see him in Secret Wars or you see Moon Knight in this, don't come at us now because we let you know we went through the whole DID.
We took this DID thing very seriously.
We made a whole series about it.
Yep.
So when you see him kicking ass, you see him kicking ass, and him able to be Steven, and him able to be in. We the one. I wonder if we got more Mr. Knight than we've gotten than Moon Knight is because it's cheaper to do Mr. Knight. But I say all that to say this: like this whole thing could have been the situations where they know they can use Moon Knight going forward without people like go watch. You thinking we tripping? We laid the groundwork through 6 episodes that wasted Jermaine and Manny's time. You get what I'm saying?
That's like, a good point.
You and I would have we kind of nerdy for that kind of stuff. Like we would have probably watched that little shit. Like, okay, just to get being so we ain't sounding stupid when we talking.
Yeah,
but they probably just did that just so. Okay, that's why we did this. We gonna use Moon Knight. We probably tied into fucking Doctor Strange, saying we did this, but this is the real Moon Knight is over here. But we showed you this over here, so you can't come on our back. You can't pause. You can't be on. You can't come at us. You can't come at us.
Yeah, that's
later when you see it. If you think we've been
insensitive to the condition. That I hope is the case. If we can get anything, that would salvage the fuck out of this show because, you know what the bad part is though? You always end up. It's been a lot of occasions where you outsmart Marvel. Like you outsmart yourself trying to like shoot bail for Marvel.
Yeah, because that was 100% shooting bail.
And I'm hoping you right. 100%. I'm hoping you right. Like to me, that gives me a little bit of more optimism going forward. Like okay, all right, that could be the case. Yeah, y'all could have just like you said, ironing out the DID because instead of making it always about the DID, it's like nah, this is what it took for him to get to Secret Wars. You know what I mean? He's gonna be a big part of Secret Wars, but we just want to let you know, hey man, we don't take this lightly.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, it's a big part of this character, and he this is a hurdle that he has to overcome. All right, we can do that if we turning off that last episode, and that's the case. Then I'm gonna say, you know what? This, for the most part, has been a success. Now, granted, y'all could have did it a different way. Y'all could have gave us more action up front, but all right, no, I'm sold. Come on, let's get to the Secret Wars. Let's see where we're going next.
Hey man, hurry that shit up.
Get that shit out there, man.
Hurry that shit up, man.
I don't need no more convention in terms of the show. I really don't. Like, I don't need another show. I'm ready for the Secret Wars.
Hurry that shit up, man. Like, you want to talk about wasting my time? Like, what is that shit on the docket, man? Hurry that shit up.
Hurry that shit up, B. Yo, wrap it up, B.
Like, wrap it up, B. Like, yo, when is hurry this shit? Get this shit together, because I need to know when this next Avengers shit jumping off. I don't give a fuck if it's all new Avengers.
Yeah,
I just didn't know when this next shit jumping off. Hurry this shit up.
Spider-Man gonna be in that shit too, by the way.
Hurry that shit up.
What part is he gonna play? Like, hurry up.
Because shit up, man.
I don't need no more TV shows, man. I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, they got. I don't even know how they going. Like I say, they showing the like I say the flashy, the shiny object. Yeah, we gonna put Daredevil on this show. We gonna do Jessica Jones. And like, okay, y'all might get me, but it's like,
yeah,
I still like I'm hating right now. So I'm like,
right,
hey man, you might have to tell me. Because now I'm on like a couple episodes. I'm a couple series in now where it's like, you know what? Hey man, y'all might have to tell me, man.
Yeah,
I might not, because y'all not putting that same energy in this shit. Y'all market the hell out of it, right? So y'all do that. Hey man, I might just be more happy if the 4 movies y'all put out, y'all actually put them on Disney Plus, and I can just go ahead and buy that shit real quick and watch. Like, you want to keep my Disney? Now you got to have a Disney Plus subscription, and then you can watch Multiverse of Madness when they come out next Thursday. Cool, thanks. Let me go ahead and drop that 20, whatever it is.
Yep.
30.
Oh yeah, they going subscription. Yeah, they ain't doing that though.
Let's just do that. Then me being like, okay, this is I think they just put out their docket. I meant to look at that like for the next like 2 years. Some of it was already stuff for this year because they did that at CinemaCon. They put the Marvel. I think it was 2000.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
But I didn't see the.
Can we get that on screen?
I'm gonna try to pull it up now.
Excuse me. Just to take a look at that shit. I really need to get a chair.
Oh, is that the chair that they kind of
This is no one. I destroyed that shit.
I want to see if I can pull it up. I synced that. Which one is it? Make sure this ain't no. It's the 29th. Let me see what this one. Okay, so this is the 29th where I'm at.
That's wild.
I want to see that little docket. Yeah, they had that up. Let's see if I can pull that off. What was that? 6 hours ago. Yeah. Pull that before we get up out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up at the. Yeah, we almost at the 3 hour mark.
That's what I wanted to see. Was this? Did it have the? The TV, any TV shows in there? I'm trying to pull this up. It's not giving me. They were like, "Oh yeah, Kevin left so he can go do the next 10 years." They mapping out the.
It's funny to see these fan made ones with these like names like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Doctor this one said Doctor Strange Illuminati. one of them said Black Widow Leviathan. Like, what the fuck is that?
Oh man,
man. What it say? Thunderbolts, Warlock. Like, oh wow. I think that's okay.
Oh, so this was what they did. They did the Disney, and it was just the movies. So it wasn't. That's what I was wondering. It was the Disney rollout. That's what it was. It wasn't just MCU. It was a Disney. So they were showing what came out rest of 2022,
okay.
And then they had the 2020, but it was all movies. And I think the only thing they got in 23 is Ant-Man, Guardians, and Brie.
Okay.
And then they got.
Okay.
I definitely don't think. I think we're gonna see a lot of Brie. Like, I don't even think, like, I know they got the Miss Marvel show coming out. I'm sure she gonna make an appearance in this movie, but I think she gonna show up as something else before then, like
the Marvels.
Like you said,
for all we know, that can be a multiverse movie too, and the Marvels could be just 3 versions of Brie. You don't know what that shit gonna be about, man.
Well, I guess we'll know a lot by the end of next weekend. I mean, I'm gonna be sorry if I'm disappointed on Wednesday and Thursday.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Wednesday and Thursday, like,
yo, man, please don't be.
I'm sorry, next Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
I honestly, and I maybe that's my fault for falling for it. I really did like damn, they got Oscar and they got Moon Knight. Like, I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be like more in my wheelhouse. Like, it probably be grounded. It's going to be. It ain't going to be all. Nah, they went in the gods.
Remember the talk was like, man, how are they going to do this, man? It's one of the darkest. It's one of the more violent Marvel heroes, and like, it was like worries, like that it was going to be too dark.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that shit? Like this is gonna be like super dark and super violent. I mean, it is violent, but it's not nowhere near as compelling as you thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
as people thought they made it out to be.
Yeah,
this shit is I don't know what this shit. I don't know, man. It's like Oscar Isaac got bad luck too, bro. You got Apocalypse, and now you got this, bro. Like, this might not.
It did Doom. They didn't do a theater release. Like, they didn't make it the theater exclusive.
Great movie, great performance. You didn't get a theater release. You die in the first one. Spoiler alert.
They done beefed up for the second one's cast and all that. He won't be around.
Second one going straight to the theaters.
It's gonna be a blockbuster.
Let's do Oscar Isaac, bro.
He ain't gonna get none of that check.
Just. He like, can I get a flashback or something?
Hey, man, that
that nigga trying to
break
get
records and shit, man. When they show Dune 2 in the damn theaters, and Oscars,
that shit about to be huge, bro. That's gonna be $1 billion movie.
Oscar done play Moon Knight, yeah, exactly. Oscar done play Moon Knight, and then they just Basically had him just over. He did 2 characters, got paid for one.